What's up guys, it's River, and today we're looking at the Nikon D5300. So I hear a lot of you guys want the specs, the features, and the build quality of a high-end DSLR, but you want all of that on a budget. Well, the Nikon D5300 is exactly that, and I think it's the perfect camera for most of you. So without further ado, let's get right into it and see if this is your new camera. Also, just to let you guys know, there's a link down below for the absolute best deal on this camera, so if you are interested, be sure to check that out. So first things first, let's talk about specs on this camera. It's got a 24 megapixel APS-C size sensor without an OLPF. An OLPF is a little filter you put right in front of the sensor to make the image a little bit softer. This does not have that, so it makes the photos that much sharper, but it does have a bit of an issue with the video. We'll get into that later. And it does 5 frames per second, which isn't like super duper high, but what really impresses me is that it does 100 shots before having to stop. Check this out. It will chug a little bit in the middle, but it will keep going until you get to 100 shots. That part is very, very impressive on this camera. And because of that little bit of a slowdown in the middle, I wouldn't say it's a consistent 5 frames per second. I would say it's more of a 3 or 3.5 frames per second, but that should be plenty fast for most people going on vacation, a hobbyist where you're shooting your friends and your kids. But if you are shooting sports and wildlife photography, I don't think this camera will be fast enough. For you, I would say the D7500, trust me on this, that thing is a beast and shoots like there's no tomorrow. And as for the actual photo quality in this camera, it is very, very solid. It does 14-bit RAW internally, which gives you tons of dynamic range, tons of room to play around with your colors. If you plan on doing any kind of editing or post-processing on your photos, you are in no way limited by this camera. It can literally make art if you want to. And if you're the type that just wants to take the photos straight from the camera, to your cell phone, to your computer, and throw them on social media or send them to your family, this camera also has you covered. It takes very, very solid images in camera, and I really like the color science in this camera. It handles skin tones and blues really well. Everyone looks very flattering, and just, it's good overall. Like, you're not gonna make someone look ugly with this camera. And lastly, this camera does have Wi-Fi built in, so you can wirelessly send your photos straight from the camera right to your cell phone or laptop. It's a handy feature if you're feeling lazy. As for video, this camera does a really solid job. It does full HD all the way from 23 up to 60 frames per second, so you do get a little bit of room for slow motion. Plus, it has a neutral picture profile built right in, so you can use that picture profile to play with your colors and adjust exposure in post, so it does give you plenty of options when it comes to video. And it has a built-in microphone jack, HDMI output, so you could really rig this thing up to be a proper video machine, plus flip screen. If you do want to vlog with it, you totally can. I think the only thing that really holds this camera back is the autofocus in video. Honestly, the autofocus is like a Vin Diesel movie. It's trash. Next, let's talk about autofocus in this camera, and it's pretty dang solid. The autofocus in this camera, I would say, is like 9 out of 10. It's very fast, very reliable. If you have things coming towards you or going away from you, it will keep them in focus. The focus generally is pin sharp. I've never really seen the autofocus in this camera go bad, except in low light situations. If this thing worked in low light, honestly, 10 out of 10. The autofocus in terms of photos is superb, but when it comes to video, as I said previously, it's like a Vin Diesel movie. It is trash. It does not work well. You can really see the images going way out of focus, then into focus. It hunts. It's just not very good. And this lens, which is the kit lens, really isn't made for pulling smooth autofocus. You can kind of see it go like yeah, video, just forget about it when it comes to autofocusing. Autofocusing for photo, 10 out of 10. Though a quick side note, the autofocus in this camera really should not deter you if you're a cinematic or travel filmmaker, because most of the time you guys are pulling your own focus anyways. The only people I really wouldn't recommend this to is probably vloggers or documentary filmmakers, because you don't really have time to pull your own focus. But this is a very solid video machine, and if you can pull your own focus, this camera at this price is a super good deal. Also, this is kind of a niche topic, but I know some of you guys really care. How is this camera in low light? And sad to say, this is not a low light camera. It is a very, very, very solid camera, but I really recommend having plenty of light with it. I really wouldn't push this camera past like 1000 or 1600 ISO for both photo and video. In photos, it's much more forgiving. You can really clean up your noise, but video, it's not that easy. When it comes to low light and high ISO work, I really don't recommend this camera. Lastly, let's talk about the design and build quality of this camera because I'm really impressed by it. It's made out of a carbon fiber and polymer mix, which makes this camera super light yet super robust. It's got this beautiful rubber grip all the way around it, so wherever you hold the camera, that rubber grip is right there and gives you just a little bit more friction and just a little bit more of a grip when holding this camera. I really appreciate that. Even the lens is textured, so even when you're changing your focal length, there's a little bit of a texture on the lens to just make everything ergonomically well suited, well built for a shooter. The buttons are really well laid out. I can pretty much access anything with just my right hand. Ergonomically, this camera is fantastic. Overall, this camera is really premium and feels really well built. I feel like it's not gonna fall apart on me. These buttons are gonna last, the dials are gonna last, it's weather sealed, so I feel comfortable taking this camera anywhere. The only small issue that I have with the design of this camera is this grip right here. I feel like it's a little bit too shallow. Someone who has bigger hands like me, I can't really get a good grip on it. It's not the end of the world. It's not really a deal breaker for me personally, but it's something to keep an eye out for if you do have big hands and you want like a better grip on your camera. I recommend maybe picking up a camera strap from Amazon just to keep a better grip on your camera. And a big positive that I have to mention about this camera is the battery. It is pretty impressive. It's about an 1100 milliamp battery. It's about half the size of your iPhone battery, but this battery will last me all day for both photos and video. It's a super impressive battery considering how small this camera is, and that battery isn't that big on its own. It's a fairly tiny battery, but it will last you all day. But a quick side note, I do recommend picking up a spare battery. They're fairly cheap on Amazon. You don't want to run out of batteries. So at the end of the day, who's this camera really for? I recommend this camera to anyone that's a hobbyist. If you're taking photos of your kids, going on vacation, traveling, or if you're just a fan of photography and you want to casually take photos, this camera is solid. It's got a great sensor, great color science, and basically there's nothing in this camera that's going to hold you back from taking a good photo, and it's going to absolutely blow, and I mean blow your cell phone photos away. Plus, if you're a young professional and you don't want to spend your life savings on your first camera, this is a very solid option. It's got a 24 megapixel sensor, really good 14-bit RAW, will give you plenty of dynamic range to really push and pull your images. You can really make art with this, and this is a great option for a beginner professional photographer, but I don't recommend this to a professional that needs to shoot in challenging environments that require high ISO, really fast autofocus for video. This is really more of a hobbyist and beginner camera. And for anyone watching this video that wants a good video camera at this price point, I really recommend looking at the Canon M50. It's about $650 with the lens and has really good solid video autofocus. It has the Canon dual pixel autofocus that, in my opinion, is probably the second best autofocus system in the industry right now. You could get a Sony camera, but those are like several $1,000s. Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out the video on the Nikon D5300. If you are interested in this camera, there's a link down below for the absolute best deal on this guy, so be sure to check that out. Also, if you have any questions about this camera or anything we discuss on this channel, hit me up in the comments down below and I'll make sure to get back to every single one of you. As always, thank you so much for following, and like and subscribe for future content. Until next time, guys.